Hello and welcome to the Merle and Locke podcast. I'm Merle.
And I'm Locke.
Set sail and low expectations for everything nerd, accompanied by a healthy, albeit shameful helping and pointless banter, lack of focus, and questionably acquired knowledge.
And more!
And more. Now, for today's episode, Locke, I know you wanted to talk about something spoopy, right? To stay, to be within the to be in theme with the current month, October, and do something kind of like Halloween themed, yeah. So I couldn't think of anything really, and I just this came to into my mind, and I kind of wanted to talk about it, and it's in theme. It's actually having to do with, Halloween, celebrating Halloween, like our current like fond memories that we've had in our past from when we were children, like whether it be like trick or treating or different activities that we've done during Halloween.
Right.
And I know it's not that spoopy, but I figured it'd be fun to like go down memory lane, and see if we have any funny stories that we can think of. So I'll start. This is kind of. Oh man, I don't want to call it like embarrassing because it's not like something like a choice that I had necessarily, but it was something really odd. Yeah. So, like you and many members of our friend group know, I was homeschooled for many years as a child, and when. Now, if we consider that for a moment, like if we think about, you remember Dumb and Dumberer?
Yes.
Well, I'm sure everybody knows what Dumb and Dumberer was.
I mean, we hope so.
Origin story of Dumb and Dumber. But when it was showing like Harry, like the way because he was homeschooled and he was talking about his knowledge, that he had, and it was like everything was wrong. Like everything that he knew like throughout history was wrong, right? And he was kind of like a derpy dude, And I was like looking at this, and I was like, oh, this is giving like people that are homeschooled a bad name, but it's not too inaccurate, in all honesty, man. Because like, okay. I'm not saying in all cases, but, in my case, I feel like I wasn't the brightest kid, because homeschool, man, it was like I feel like, why am I going into this? I don't want to go into this too much because it's going off topic already.
What are we talking
My
about?
gosh. We're not even 5 minutes in and I'm starting to go off on a rant about something else. Okay. Anyway, let's not get into that. Let's just stay on topic here. Okay, so growing up, I was raised in a Christian home. We went to church. No, I was laid in a manger as a baby. No, but no, grew up Christian, and we went to church all the time, and we were. In the realm of, the whole Halloween is the devil thing, right? So that's what like a bunch of people at my church were preaching and whatnot, and when it comes to my parents, right? My mom was like, when they were saying like, oh, this and that is the devil, my mom's like, okay, well, let's just go along with it so no one, sticks their, like, tries to get in our business and whatnot, so she just like played ball just so everybody would stay out of our business. Yeah.
Right.
And my dad was like, I don't care. He didn't give a crap. But, so Halloween was the devil. So rather than participate in, trick-or-treating and such, we had, on Halloween night, we had this thing called the I Love Jesus party. Okay? That's legitimately what it was called, right? The I Love Jesus party, where we would we would get to, like, I don't know if this was like something that was widespread, but it was something that we had in our church, and it was the oddest thing. Well, I mean, like, it wasn't that odd. Well, the premise was odd, but we would go to a friend's house where his dad, he owned and operated this farm, so he had like a lot of land and stuff, and we would all go there, and we'd have like this big old bonfire, and it would just be like all a bunch of kids from the church, and we would all be there and roasting hot dogs and doing s'mores and stuff like that, and just having like this, this big fellowship of kids, and we would still like have candy and stuff like that, and get all the goodies, but we just wouldn't like dress up in costumes and go door to door and celebrate the devil's holiday or whatever. So I mean, like, it was like thinking back on it, like it was pretty fun. I mean, it was just weird, the fact that we had that in place of celebrating Halloween for what it was. And so I said, think about like some fond memories, and honestly, it is a fond memory. Like, I had a lot of fun. It's just, it was like the whole premise of it. It like hurts to think about, and like they couldn't have even had like a catchier name, right? Like, I Love Jesus Party. That's
right.
Like, how are you gonna invite like school friends or something,
right,
to come to that? Like, want to come to my I Love Jesus party? We're gonna read scripture and sing hymns.
Well, yeah, no, that's the thing, right? You would have said the I Love Jesus party, and kids would have gone, "What kind of twisted parties are you having? I'm not going there to sing psalms." And they're thinking it's just going to be some religious event altogether. They're gonna go, no, and you'll be like, my friends don't want to hang out with me.
Oh man, no. But if we consider it, right? Like, I did that like every year for a number of years until I was old enough to just or my parents are like, hey, whatever you want to do, you do it,
Right.
And there was one year where I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do the I Love Jesus party. I want to go do Halloween, And my mom was like, okay, I don't care. Let's do it. So, so we get dressed up and we do some trick or treating. And I remember, like, we got, oh gosh, I don't know. I think like we started off in one neighborhood, did like, maybe close to 20 houses. And I was like, this is so boring. I was like, yeah, I'm getting candy and stuff and got to dress up, but this is so lame. I was like, I want to go home. So yeah, that was pretty much the extent of like my Halloween. I didn't really celebrate Halloween too often until like, I was like a preteen, close to teenager, and you would go around with your guy friends and just like go to the houses that left out the pot of candy and says, please take one, and you take two just to be cheeky, or like, we weren't the assholes that would like take the whole bucket. No, we didn't. I wasn't that much of an asshole as a teenager. I thought of the kids. Don't worry.
All right.
But yeah, that was pretty much the extent of my Halloweens that I can recall at the moment. Do you have any stories or fond memories that you have participating in Halloween?
It's funny to think of the two different walks of life that you and I participated in as far as Halloween goes. I mean, my mom was not one into the scary aspect of Halloween. No, like, our house was more like fall-like, the hay bale, the little hay bales, some like scarecrows, all the cutesy types of autumn I'd call them
Okay.
more like autumn decorations or fall decorations.
Yeah, yeah.
She did not participate in the scary aspect of Halloween. She did not like that. So when my sister had gotten into it and started going, let's dress as witches, and they put a cauldron out and had a fog machine set up, making it look like there was fog coming out the cauldron, with the chants of the bubble bubble, toil and trouble. And that reached me into the scary aspect, and I started getting an interest in that by the time I reached like teenage years. And then eventually I started participating, and I said, I want to scare kids for Halloween.
Okay.
I stopped trick-or-treating. It was more whatever candy's left over at the house was my candy.
Oh no, I love that. That's my favorite part of like being an adult during Halloween.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even still to this day, it's the, can we scare kids and be like, here, have some candy. But what I noticed was you scare these kids and they don't even want to grab the candy. And they're just like, yep, that's enough for me. And they leave it. You're like, no, come back and candy. What? What's this guy talking about?
I don't trust you now.
I had a year where we had this coffin built, just a wood coffin, and I was laying down in it. I was rattling the door. All these kids that you could hear them acting tough. They're like, I'm not scared of you. I know you're in there, and I just wouldn't make any sounds. And I'd wait until I heard the gravel just move, and then I'd pound on the door again, and they're like, stop it! Like, I'm like, sure, you're not scared, kids. I know. You're acting tough in front of your family and your friends. I get it. I was that age.
You gotta perform, man. You gotta
Right.
perform.
One kid I scared so much, she got so mad. Her parents thought it was funny. They were talking to me, so at this point I have the coffin door open. This kid comes around to the side of the coffin and just shoves the door shut, and it bops me on the back of the head. I'm laying there.
Oh.
I'm laying in the coffin like, you little son of a bitch. But I get it. All right.
Yeah. Oh, man, that does remind me of when this was when my daughter was. She was a little tiny at this time, right? So she was still in a stroller, whatnot. She couldn't walk yet, and her mom wanted to take her out trick or treating, and we were living in a pretty nice neighborhood at the time, and I was like, well, yeah, sure, if you want to go out for a walk, and she had her friend over, and her friend walked around the neighborhood with her, and she had like this cute pumpkin costume or something on my daughter. And I was like, all right, well, I gotta stay here and hand out candy. So I had a ghost face costume.
Classic.
And yeah, classic. It was like easy buy, like the first thing you see when you walk into like a Halloween store or something. Like, what was that Halloween store that pops up?
Talking about
Every
Spirit
year.
Halloween.
Spirit Halloween, that's the one. It's like the first thing you see when you walk in is Ghostface, And so I got a Ghostface costume, and I sat out on the porch, and I had myself completely covered head to toe, with the costume and everything. And I sat the pot of candy on my lap, a little cauldron of candy, and I just sat there as still as I possibly could. And just waited and I didn't sit like straight up. I kind of slumped over, kind of like I was like a stuffed, character
Right.
or something. And I just stayed as still as possible. And then when kids would walk up and and go to take candy, I would grab their hand real quick. And it was such a hit with the parents, right?
Yeah.
The moms would always scream like, "Oh my God," and the dads would just be like almost dying of laughter of how scared their kids would get after I would scare the crap out of them. It was the funnest thing. It was the only year I ever did that, and I even remember like the older kids that would show up, like the preteens and whatnot that would come up, and they would be there, to do, as you said, the whole like tough guy act and whatnot, and they would be walking up and we're like, Shh, we know that's somebody in there. Like they just keep saying like they know, they like the gig is up, like they know that I'm in here, and I just wouldn't react, I'd be like, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, I'll grab one, I'll grab a piece, I'll play your game, just keep talking through it, and then they would grab it, and I'd grab their hand, and it would scare the crap out of them every time. I was like, you're all talk, bud, get out of here. Yeah, that was one of my fondest memories as an adult, and doing that. And yes, I did have, little kids who would come up, and I would do that, and then they would step away and not want the candy, like you were saying,
right.
And I'd end up having to bring the pot down to their parents, and their parents would take the candy from me, and then I would go back up on the porch.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a lot of good memories. I love that.
That was always the thing too. When I scared these kids, my mom felt terrible. Like, would just be like, come on, just take the candy, and she'd have to pop out to try to coax these kids, nothing like a sweet lady trying to coax the kid and be like, come on, just take the candy. The kid's like, oh no, there's a scary man right there. Which, like I said, I get it. I went to a house one time. We drove to a house to get out of the neighborhood, get some other candy. Drove to this house, and when I went up to the door, this lady tells me, you might want to be careful. There's been like a dangerous killer on the loose. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure, lady. And all of a sudden you hear this, whee, and this man comes out with a chainsaw. To which I run to the vehicle. I hop in the passenger seat. I'm like, go, 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 go. Now, obviously, now that I'm older, I'm like, this man obviously had no chain in his chainsaw.
As far as you know.
This lady was playing it up, because she didn't act terrified at all. She didn't scream. I was the one that screamed.
Oh man, it's precious. I love it. I love it when people go that extra mile just to like make it more memorable for the kids. You know? I do love that. I do remember like the few times that I took my daughter out. I love when people do the garage thing, right? Where they have like their entire garage all decorated, and you come walking up and there's like fog pouring out and there's streamers hanging down so you can't see exactly what's going on in there, and there's like flashing lights and stuff. I love it when people go the extra mile to do all that, and then they come like lurking out of the shadows or something to hand out candy to the kids. And man, just like technology, as far as it's come, and we use it just to scare the crap out of children.
Absolutely. I even tried years where I grabbed some friends. I said, listen, the kids already know that I'm trying to scare them. So what if I had more people to help me scare them?
Oh, there you go.
A lot of them chickened out halfway through. They didn't actually scare the kids. They were just like, oh, here you go. Go up and get the candy. I was like, come on.
Aww.
I was hoping you guys would help. One of my friends got stuck in a trash can while he was trying to hop out and scare people. The trash can just tilted over on him. Most hysterical moment of a Halloween night.
What a champ.
Absolutely. He took one for the team.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, right?
That's right.
Man, yeah, I don't know if I have any memories of like working together with other friends to do such a thing.
Well, that sounds like we need to do it sometime. Just Merle and Locke go out and scare kids for Halloween.
Oh man, no! Like these days, we're probably gonna get like pepper sprayed or
Oh,
something
well.
by a crazy mother
Well,
or something like
It's
that.
the stories that count.
Yeah, make some fond memories.
Uh, we'll record it. Watch Merle and Locke actually get attacked by a mob for Halloween.
Oh man, God, go to court for assault charges and what have you.
We did nothing.
Uh,
Yep. Sounds like a plan. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining us on the Merle and Locke podcast. If you enjoyed this banter, please consider becoming a patron by going to patreon.com/Merle and Locke, or simply follow the link in the description. Thank you.